Okay. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Rose. I am a 24-year-old woman of transgender experience and I make mostly LGBT content here on YouTube. I do have sort of a part one to this video where I talk about a few of the things that give me gender euphoria. I will link that right up here as well as down below. But today's video actually hits a little more close to home for me. I sat down to start filming and I started feeling a little bit uninspired, a little bit antsy. And so I went outside to take some photos of myself for my Instagram and I saw the photos of myself and I was just feeling so dysphoric. I was feeling so ugly. I was feeling like I looked so masculine and it was really bringing me down. In fact, actually right before I sat down to film this right now, I considered just taking my makeup off and filming it another day. But there's somebody that's watching this that is feeling the same way that I do. And my words might help you. The whole purpose of my channel is to make girls like me live an easier life. So here I am, dysphoria and all, sitting in front of here telling you guys 5 things that make me feel better when I am feeling dysphoric, or 5 things that bring me gender euphoria. I cannot wait to share all of this with you, but before we jump into this week's video, we do have a word from our wonderful sponsor, Catch Beauty. Hi there. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that body hair and body hair removal has been something that I have struggled with so much, as well as many other trans girls behind me. At least for me, I feel like my hair removal regimen goes above and beyond that of the average person. For years, I was shaving my legs and other body parts every single day. I would be stubbly by the end of the day if I didn't do it first thing in the morning. And that was miserable. I spent thousands of dollars easily on going to salons to get laser and electrolysis. And while that worked, it was so expensive and I wanted my entire body lasered and that would have taken forever. I didn't realize until I found Catch Beauty that you can literally just do laser removal by yourself. The Catch Beauty at-home IPL laser device is my top recommended method of permanent hair removal. I've been using it for a few years now. When I first started using it, I had such awful stubble, as I mentioned earlier. I had like strawberry legs. I have really dark hair naturally, so the stubble would just show through all the time. Now I have been using it consistently. I started using it a couple years ago and now I just use it once in a while for touch-ups. I used to have pretty hairy arms, nothing too crazy, but definitely noticeable hair all on my forearms. With our IPL handset, you can get salon quality results at home at a fraction of the price. On top of their wonderful product, I love Catch Beauty for what they stand for. They have always from day one been a huge supporter of the LGBT community and work with so many trans influencers just like myself to get their message out there. And as I always say in the videos, they didn't tell me to say this, but I always say because I think it's funny, Catch Beauty wants to help us with even the hairiest parts of our transition. So if you are interested in checking out their at-home IPL laser hair removal device, please check out the link in the description and use my code ROSE for money off your order. Thank you so much for Catch Beauty for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And without further ado, let's get on into gender euphoria. So what is gender euphoria? What is gender dysphoria? Well, the UK NHS describes gender dysphoria as, quote, a term that describes a sense of unease that a person may have because of a mismatch between their biological sex and their gender identity. This sense of unease or dissatisfaction may be so intense it can lead to depression and anxiety and have a harmful impact on daily life. The sensation is undesirable. It sucks, but it's something that unifies all trans people across all walks of life. That is what it means to be trans. But instead of basing our unity off of gender dysphoria, something so negative, we do all share one more thing in common, and that is the experience of gender euphoria. Gender euphoria is the complete opposite of gender dysphoria. Gender euphoria is described as feelings of intense happiness and bliss in relation to your body and your gender, typically associated with confirming one's personal gender, whatever that means to you. Some of my most significant memories with gender euphoria are waking up from gender confirmation surgery, or waking up from my top surgery, or my tracheal shave, or getting on hormones, or changing my name. And these are all wonderful milestones in one's life, but it's not always accessible. And plastic surgery isn't really something you can just conveniently keep in your tool belt to pull out when you're sad. So I've compiled 5 more things that give me gender euphoria. The divine feminine energy is largely associated with nurturing, love, and care. When I think about the woman that I want to be, or when I think about the women in my life that have inspired me, the first person that I think of course, is my mother. My mother is such a caring, empathetic, and loving woman. In the same breath, she is a hard worker, she's tough as nails, and she is loyal as a German Shepherd. No, I do not have children yet, but for now, one of the biggest things that makes me feel connected to my divine feminine and my nurturing energy is caring for my plants. When I take the time to water, to fertilize, to repot my plants, it really connects me to my inner mother nature. This is a living thing that is growing and thriving because of my care and attention. And speaking of living things that are thriving with my care and attention, it is no surprise to any of you if you follow me on different social media that my fiance and I recently got a kitten named Rosie. She is the sweetest little cat in the world. I would bring her on camera right now, but she's sleeping and she's a little bit of a menace when I'm filming. So I'm just gonna let her sleep. She is my whole world. She is about 3.5 months old now. We got her when she was 2 months old, like fresh away from her mama, and I have filled that role for her. She's a Pisces just like me, and watching her thrive because of me is the most gender euphoric feeling because I am her mom. I have raised her. She sees me as her mom. She sleeps on my chest, and it's just a really special connection. No matter what my confidence level is at, I am undeniably this little kitty's mom, and that gives me a purpose behind my femininity more than just surface level. Feminine energy goes so much deeper than surface level, and we have our whole lives to explore that. Starting a traditionally feminine skill or hobby has brought me so much closer to my womanhood and has really enhanced my experience of gender euphoria. Of course, we know that anybody, regardless of gender, can sew or fix cars or bake or hunt or whatever. But we also know that in our traditional society, there are roles that men fill and there are roles that women fill. I majored in textile marketing and design in the College of Business at my university, and there I learned how to sew and construct a garment. The hours I spent at my university's sewing lab were all but lost by entering a flow state and sewing and sewing and sewing nonstop, to the point where sometimes I would look out the window and it would be sunset, which means that I'd been there all day long just sewing and entering a flow state. And what that does is it brings you out of your mind. It allows you to put your mind into what you're physically doing. Since 2020, I'm sure a lot of us have taken up an interest in baking. I know for me personally, I have. In fact, cooking has quickly become a love language of mine. I think of the women in my ancestry and how it's so likely that they were gathering in the kitchen and talking or gossiping and communicating, connecting with other women in the kitchen while kneading dough or sweating in front of a hot oven. I find that existing in traditionally feminine spaces and practicing a skill, even alone, provides me a space to thrive as a woman outside of my transness. Thriving as a woman outside of my transness has been largely put into effect through the practice of body neutrality. I have talked about this in some previous videos. I'll link it right up here and down below. In a world that is so obsessed with body positivity, on every body being beautiful, take the term beautiful out of it. Our outer beauty provides us no intrinsic value. Society places unrealistically high expectations on women, even more so arguably for trans women. Even in our own spaces in the ballroom world, we are taught that our value has everything to do with how we look and how well we pass. We literally will get in our underwear and stand in front of a line of judges and ask them to inspect us to see if there is anything wrong with our physical appearances. And while yes, that space does provide community and support for a lot of us, and it's important that that space is preserved, aside from voguing competitions, we are still valuing physical appearance over physical ability. When I say to value ability over appearance, this is what I mean. Every day, pick out a part of your body to be thankful for. I've spent so long, so much time of my life, years, today even, hating parts of my body, hating my legs, hating my voice, hating my height, hating my face. But I am so blessed that I have 2 working legs. Those legs have brought me so many places. I might not always love how they look, but they can run, they can jump, and they can dance. My face, the same face that cracks into a smile when Christopher makes me laugh. The same face that can communicate so much by saying so little. My voice, the same voice that allows me to sing in the shower. Might not be great singing, but it's fun. The same voice that allows me to call my mom and say that I love her. We all can have superficial problems with our appearances, trans or not. But when I focus on what my body can do rather than what my body looks like, I started to make that transition from gender dysphoria to gender euphoria. Now that you've worked on seeing your body as neutral rather than positive or negative, it is time to treat that neutral body, treat your divine feminine energy to a spa day. I know for me, when I was younger, I loved watching spa or like transformation sequences on movies and TV. I would see Mia Thermopolis's transformation in Princess Diaries. Mia Mignonette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia. I wished that I was allowed to treat myself like that. I wanted the green face mask. I wanted the cucumbers in the eyes. I wanted the foot scrub. I wanted all of it. So it is partially just treating my body and trying to relax and enjoy myself, and equal parts healing my inner child. I'll wax, shave, whatever. I will moisturize from head to toe, and I'll throw on some nice PJs and indulge in a nice face mask. This one right here is made up of bentonite clay, and I mix it with apple cider vinegar and water. This is not at all sponsored. This is just something that I have been using for a long time, and it has done wonders for my skin. Another thing you can do to pamper yourself is a pedicure. You can either go and get a pedicure or do it yourself at home. I love a pedicure once in a while. It keeps me feeling soft and delicate. I only ever do French or white toes. Only. The divine feminine lives in all of us. Your body works hard for you, and it is the least we can do to treat it with respect and give it some time to be pampered and taken care of. My final tip in this video is to create a feminine space for you and a friend using all 5 senses. Create a comfortable space with soft fabrics and blankets. Light a candle or bake something tasty. Put on some good music with cool lighting. Invite a girlfriend over to hang out, paint each other's nails, have a slumber party. Maybe pop in one of your old childhood favorite movies, the movie that brings you a lot of comfort. For me, that movie is 100% of the time Spirited Away. I own it on DVD twice over, actually. I have it on Blu-ray. Don't even have a Blu-ray. Own it on Amazon. I even have it on a Google Doc. Doesn't matter what the movie is, just create a vibe, maybe make a fort and lay out some snacks and enjoy. I recently watched The Little Mermaid with my cat, which was actually a really wholesome and fulfilling experience. Doing this by yourself is just as fulfilling as doing this with a friend, because you deserve to have a nice space to enjoy. Anyone can just turn on a movie, lie in bed, eat crackers, and watch TV. But when you create this space, this sort of vibe for yourself, you're creating a moment, something that you're going to remember. When you create a space of things that you personally deem to be feminine and comforting, it helps to remind you that this is an extension of you. You are a part of this feminine space, just as the space is a part of you. It's a reflection. All of us, whether you are a woman, a man, trans, not trans, we all have divine feminine energy within us. In fact, we all have divine feminine as well as divine masculine. When I fuel my divine feminine, the gender euphoria that I experience in the moment and for days after makes any future gender dysphoria so much more bearable because I know how to deal with it. I love that the term gender euphoria has entered the LGBT vernacular. So much of our experience is based on pain and suffering and sadness, but it doesn't have to be. On our darkest days, like mine was today, like yours might be right now as you're watching this, it's these moments of gender euphoria that we look forward to. This video is hard for me to film because, as I said in the beginning, I am having a tough day myself. I'm having a day that I need to enact some of these practices to my life. I just want you all to know that no matter where you feel like you are in your transition, in your life, everything will change. For the better, for the worse, that things are going to change, nothing stays the same. Thank you all so much for spending your time with me. It really does mean the world to me. If you are not already a part of the family, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below so you'll never miss out on a new upload, and follow me at all my social media links in the description box down below, as I am a lot more active on there. You are all fantastic, and until I see you next week, good luck. I love you. Bye.